In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how you can create an inventory controller for your player. In the last video, I showed you how to create a reusable interactable scene that you could attach to anything you wanted your player to be able to interact with. We're going to use that scene to allow our player to pick up inventory items. I will leave a link in the description to that video if you missed it. The first thing we're going to do is add some signals to our event controller. We have interactable, interaction. These were added in the last video. And in this video, we're going to add item pickup and use button pressed. For our styling, I'm going to add a theme to our project. I'm just going to come down to my root directory, and I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call it UI. And then in my UI folder, I'm going to create a new resource. And then in here, you can search for theme. You can call your theme whatever you'd like. I'm just going to call mine default. The next thing we need to do is tell our project where our default theme is. So go to project, project settings. And then under general, you can just search theme. So it'd be GUI theme. And then for custom, we're going to click this folder to search for it. And we put it in UI and then default. It's going to ask you to save and restart to make the theme apply. To start adding new types to our theme, let's just find your theme in your file system and then double click on it. And this little window should pop up. I'm going to add 5 different types, but I already did a video on themes. So for this part, I'm going to rush through it pretty quickly. If you want to watch that video on the themes, I'll leave that in the description also. Now that we're done adding the theme, we can create our inventory UI. First thing we're going to do is create a new scene. We're going to use user interface. And we'll call this inventory. And then under here, we're going to put a canvas layer. And I'm going to call this inventory UI. And then panel container. And then we're going to add a VBox. And a label. And then click back up on VBox. And we're going to add a grid container. Now you can click up on inventory and make sure it is set to full rect. And we'll come to 2D so we can see what we're working on here. And then for panel container, we're going to set the layout to center. And then for container sizing, we're going to expand on both the vertical and horizontal. The label, all I'm going to change is I'm going to change the type variation to the one I created. So come down to theme, type variation. And I created header large. And then the last thing we need to do in here is for grid container, we got to set the columns to 3. One I forgot. So for label, we're going to set inventory. And then by default, we're just going to hide this. And then you can save your scene. I'm just going to put it in UI. And we're done in here for now. We're going to come back to this later. But next, let's add another scene. It's going to be a user interface. We're going to call it inventory slot. We're going to add a button under it. I'm going to call mine item button. And then inside of our button, we're going to add a sprite 2D. I'm going to name mine icon. Then we're also going to add a label inside of here. And I'm going to call mine quantity. So for the inventory slot, select that. Let's go to the inspector and we're going to change the layout. We're going to set it to top left. We're going to set a custom minimum size of 200 by 200. Now let's go to our button. Same thing. Let's go over to the inspector. We're going to go down to layout. We're going to update the transform. And this will also be 200 by 200. And then same thing. Let's go down to the theme, the type variation. I'm going to update mine to inventory button. Now let's go to our sprite 2D. We're going to set it to 100 by 100. And then for mine, I'm going to scale the sprite 2D up to ×2. This isn't necessary. It's dependent on your assets that you currently have. And then the last thing we're going to do is come into quantity. Let's go to layout and then transform. And it's going to be 40 by 45. And we're going to position it to 10 by 10. And then let's come to our theme type variation. And I'm going to set mine to large tooltip. These are all just part of the theme that I created. If you don't have a theme, you can manually just set these in the theme overrides to style it however you would like. Okay, let's save this scene as inventory slot in our UI folder. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a script to our inventory slot. I'm just gonna call it inventory slot.gd. Before we go through the inventory slot script, we have one more scene we wanna add. So click plus again. This time it's gonna be a 2D scene. I'm gonna call mine inventory item. This is going to be a reusable scene that allows us to add items to our level that the player can pick up and add to their inventory. So let's add a sprite 2D to this. And we're going to call it icon. And then we're going to instantiate the interactable component that we made in the last video. So we can click on the link icon up here and just search for interactable scene. Again, this is a scene we made in the last video. If you didn't see that, it's only about 9 minutes long, and I will leave a link in the description so you can watch that. And click on the interactable scene that we instantiated. Give it a label. So we're just going to say to pickup. So now we can save this scene. And again, we're going to save it as inventory item in the UI folder. And then we're going to add a script to this. Same thing, inventory item GD in the UI folder. At the top of this file, we are designating this as a tool script. We have 3 export variables. We have the name, the texture, and the effect of the item. We're getting the icon sprite 2D that we created in the scene. So in our ready and process function, you see we have these designations. That's engine is editor hint. And we have the not and then without the not. So what this is used for is this is for debug purposes when you're developing your game. So we add this part so that during development, we can actually see what the icon is. So when we are running the game, we are connecting to our interaction signal and we're calling the on interaction function, which is right here. So when the signal is caught, it's going to verify this is the node, and then it's going to create a dictionary for the item, and it's going to emit the signal the item picked up. We go back to our event controller. Item picked up is expecting an item that is a dictionary. So it's going to emit that signal and pass this item, which is containing our export variables we created at the top. And then lastly, it is going to remove this from the scene tree. So now we can go back to our inventory slot and we can go through this script. In our inventory slot script, we are getting access to our button, our label, and our icon from our scene tree. On ready, we are connecting the button pressed event. So this button, we are connecting to the pressed event, and then we're calling the on use button pressed. We're creating a set empty function to empty this inventory slot. And then we're creating a set item function to create an item for this inventory slot. And then lastly, this is the on use button press. This is the function that is called when the button is pressed. It's just going to validate that there is an item here. And then it's going to emit the signal use button pressed and pass the item. It's this use button pressed and this item, which is expecting a dictionary. And finally, we can do the last part of this setup, which is go back to our very first scene we created, our inventory, and we're going to add a script to this. We are creating an inventory array, and then we're getting access to the inventory slot scene that we created as a packed scene. We're getting access to the inventory UI and the grid container from this scene tree. So if we minimize this, the inventory UI is this canvas layer, and the grid container is this. And then our inventory slot scene is this scene that we created over here. So on ready, we're going to hide the inventory UI. We're going to set the inventory size to 6. We're going to connect to the use button press signal, which is this signal. We're also going to connect to the item picked up. And then lastly, in the ready function, we're going to call inventory updated. In our input function, we are capturing the action press for inventory so that we can open and close our inventory. If you remember in my project settings, I set it to I. When that key is pressed, we're going to toggle the visibility of the inventory UI, and we're going to toggle pausing and unpausing the game. So now let's go back to the inventory scene real quick, and make sure inventory is selected up here. And then what we need to do is come down to process and change the mode to always. What this is doing is allowing you to always process this scene, even if the game's paused. We want everything to pause except for the inventory so we can still interact with it. Now we can go back to our script. The clear grid container does exactly what it sounds like. It empties out the inventory grid. We have an add item function. It is looping through the inventory array. And in this case, we're using the name as unique identifier. And you could use the effect, or if you have another attribute to your inventory items, you could use that. But for this purpose, we're comparing against the name. So anytime there's a different name, that's what makes an item unique. Instead of increasing the inventory quantity, it'll add a new item. So if it finds that name in the inventory, it's adding a quantity to that item instead of creating a new slot. We're updating the inventory, and then I added these print statements. So when we're running the game, you can see what's happening. So if it doesn't find that name in the inventory, instead of increasing the quantity, it creates a new item slot. Again, we're updating the inventory and then printing. The remove item is looping through the inventory and removing the item. If the item already exists, it just reduces the quantity by 1. If the quantity is equal to or less than 0, then it removes the item from the inventory. And again, we're calling inventory updated. Our inventory updated function is calling that clear grid container. That's the function up here that removes all the items from the grid container and resets it. And then essentially we empty the inventory grid and then we recreate it. So we're using the inventory slot scene that we created, and then we're adding a slot to the grid container for each item in our inventory. And then we have this on use button pressed. This is the signal from our event controller. And this is what it's called when a user selects an item from the inventory to use. Going to validate that the name's not empty. And then we're printing for development purposes. And then it calls the remove item. And that's it. And now we can test this out. I'm going to go to my level 1, but you can go to any level you want to start adding inventory items to. I'm going to select the root of my level. I'm just going to add a node 2D to keep things organized. I'm going to call this items. Inside our items node that we just created, we're going to click on this link, and now we can instantiate our inventory item that we created before from our inventory item scene. So we just search for inventory item, and we're going to instantiate that scene and add it to this items. And you can see it comes with everything. So if you remember, we had export variables on that. So if you click on it, and then over on our inspector, we can now set a name. So I'm just going to set this to potion, and I'm going to say the effect is 10. And then I'm just going to use this cookie as the item texture. And let's go to the 2D view so that we can see what we're doing here. So here's our inventory item that we added. So let's just drag this over here and let's add 2 more so we can show you what this looks like. So we now have 3 items. And let's say on this one, I'm going to, you remember the name is what makes it unique. So I'm going to change the name on this one. So I'll say super potion, and then I'll put the effect as 20. And just so you can tell the difference in the game, let's go to visibility, and then let's just modulate this to make it a different color. And we'll just do something like that. So let's go to project settings, input map, add new action, and we're going to type in inventory, and then I'm going to set it to I. So the last thing we need to do is add this inventory scene, which is the parent of our entire inventory system, to our player in our game so that it gets loaded with the player. So let's just go into our player scene, make sure player selected, click the link, and just search inventory. Now we should be able to run and test this. Let's pay attention to the console down here, and you should be able to see the print statements that we set up. So if we hit I, you can see our inventory is empty, and we pause the game. And if we hit I again, everything resumes. So that's working. So now let's come over here. We see press E to pick up. So we can press that. And it says inventory item added. We added the potion and the effect of 10. So if we look at our inventory, you can see we have the item with 1 as the quantity. So if you come to this is the same one if you remember. So it should add a 2 to that item and not create a new slot. Let's press E. You can see we have the same thing printed to the console. And sure enough, we have 2 there. And then lastly, this should create a new slot. And you can see the last item, it's a super potion, and the effect is 20. And if we come to our inventory, you can see we have 1 of those, and then 2 of the regular. So let's test this out. If we click on the super potion, it says used super potion, and it removed it. And then used potion, removed 1 of them, and then again, used potion. Well, I suppose.